there is a shortage of people for this industry. I mean, there's a shortage of project managers out there. And there's a shortage of good project managers because there's a shortage of project managers, and the people skills are critically important to success in this industry.
Communication in the construction industry is imperative. It's one of the top things that we must always be working at keeping us the most effective with our people. And the number one resource we have in the construction industry is people, and in communicating, we're making them the most effective.
Communications is the most important because you can have the best accounting system, the best project management system, and the best schedule, but if these things aren't communicated down the line, not only to the subcontractors, but too many times some of these things aren't communicated to the people in the field. And obviously that's where it should start. They should have input with that. So the communications is real critical.
Well, I think if you believe that a team is what gets the job done on a construction site, then you have to believe that the way that they communicate together is critical. And that ultimately is an incredibly important skill to have. To have individual contributors in construction is not necessarily a real benefit right now. And I think that understanding how to work with other people is a very underrated skill.
Everybody trying to make a stake for their own work, and I think if you can keep the communications open and prevent silos from being created, you're going to have a much better project than if you let the silos get created.
When you put the schedule together, everybody that's involved in the project, project manager, the superintendent, project engineers, project executives, the architect, the owner, they should all be involved initially. And when you now have that schedule in place and you start to do updates, you need to get the same people involved on a monthly basis. The more they use it, the more they're involved in it, the more they'll appreciate it.
The thing about communication, and this is an example, I have a relative who is the vice president of construction for Disney. And the part of Disney that he's the vice president of is Imagineering. And one of the projects I followed with my brother-in-law from the first day that the shovel turned the first spade of soil to the opening was Animal Kingdom. And that was a project of about $1.6 billion. And the pride that my brother-in-law has in that particular project is he sat down with all the key contractors individually every month for breakfast. And by the time he got done with that project, there was not one claim on that job. The one issue that he wanted to make sure that was clear through their communication was that the contractor was making money. And as long as the contractor was making money, things went very well. If the contractor was not making money, they found out the reason, corrected the problem, got the, not that the project ever got off schedule, but got the harmony, I guess, the melody, the harmony of the job moving, so that everybody made money, everybody was happy, and there was no claims in the end on a $1.6 billion project. So communication is important.
I think communication is almost #1 priority. If a project manager doesn't communicate up the chain, down the chain, or in his own organization, something bad will happen.
But the other part of it is, and one of the key phrases we used to say to some of our people is, the reason you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth is you need to listen twice as much as you speak. So communicating both ways also means listening.
If you don't listen, then you really can't communicate. And if you don't take the time to hear what the other person's saying, then you're just speaking. That's not communication.
Communicating and listening has a lot of different facets, whether you're communicating with the architect, whether you're communicating with the owner, whether you're communicating with the sub. And each style is a little different because of the disciplines that are involved.
The other bigger issue is many contractors now, with the advent of the internet, many things are going out by emails. And it's too many times it's a disaster because the emails are going out, things aren't documented the way they should.
If communication is not kept on a regular flow, some team member will fall by the wayside. Somebody will misinterpret what's happening. Things will go bad.
I think I'll go out so far as to say the key reason for disputes on construction projects is a lack of communication.
Major element of making a project work is communicating clearly.